Well, it's September 2nd, 2022. Welcome to News BT on Metro TV. We're live from the Kuyaboahima studio at North Ridge. Follow us on social media. It's Metro TV Ghana on Facebook, Metro TV _GH on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also follow us on channel 277 DSTV. We'll take a closer look at the headlines of the stories coming up shortly. Ghana's telecommunications system faces an imminent shutdown as telecom workers are set to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike from Monday, September 5, 2022. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo begins two-day working visit to the Central Region. We'll touch base with our regional correspondent who is with the president to bring you details of that one as well. All right, let's go straight to the Central Region where His Excellency is touring. Our correspondent is over there. He comes through with the details of what's happening with the president and his team. Hello, Kwesi. Good afternoon.
Signs, and we have road line markings, we have street lights in the communities.
Okay, we know Kasoa in its virus has been one of traffic-prone areas in the Central and Greater Accra region. Tell us, how is this project construction going to ease traffic situation on this stretch of the road?
Very well, because I told you that we are trying to take traffic off the Kasoa road, especially those who are going to the northern part, so that when you get to Kasoa, you don't need to go through the main road to Kaneshie. You can take off and join the Kumasi road, and then you move on to the next place. So it's going to relieve traffic, going to redistribute the traffic on that stretch, and then we are going to have less traffic on the Accra Cape Coast route.
Okay, so after President called for this construction, when exactly are we seeing the contractor on site to begin work?
The contractor, you can see, he's already on site. Okay. He has started work, and you see the drains, the critical work that is what he's doing, the drainage works. When you are doing road, you need to protect the road from water. Okay. So that is what he has to do first. Make sure that all the drainage structures are in place before he will do the pavement. The pavement is the final stage where after that you put the surfacing, the bitumen on it, and then it's done. So what he's doing now is the first stage of the construction by providing U-drains, culverts, and the rest.
How sure are the communities who are to benefit from this construction that this road is going to take about 24 months to construct?
I can tell you the contractor is here, and I can vouch for him. Okay. This road will not take 2 years. He will finish before the time. Wow. I'm telling you. I know what I'm talking about. The contractor has the capacity. He's very serious in his work. I mean, you don't push him to do his work. He does his work according to time. And he's a contractor who doesn't take job just for taking sake. Okay. If you want to give him job, he said, please let me finish what I'm doing before I can continue. So he is a type, he's a contractor. When you give him job, you are sure that the work will be completed.
So, engineer, I've also seen this. So these are going to be the communities that are going to benefit from the road. That is Papase number 1 and 2, Mankomeda, Anma will be, okay, Anma will be, Jankwanta, J. Krodia,
Adaukwao. And then you come to Bojuase.
Yeah. So all in Awutu Senya is a municipality.
Between the Kasoa and the Bojuase, there's Awutu is a municipality. Then you connect to Awutu Senya, Bojuase.
Are there any peripherals that the community are going to enjoy after construction?
Oh, we have a lot of those ones leads to the farming communities. When I'm talking of farming communities, people are doing industrial farming. People are having poultry farms. So those roads leading to other small communities where the economic activity is residing. So we are very much aware that this road is going to provide easy accessibility to all those factories and all those industries within the enclave.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for joining us. So, Kwaku, you just heard me engaging the Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Highway Authority, Engineer Christian Inti. who just spoke to us about the importance of this road. I also have a gentleman with me here. Opani Bakwade.
Nyanyadumo.
Nyamiase. Empata one out.
Mbato ani tebodiase.
Okay, etichire say we e kwan we ya emfaso de be pa na betim de abraw ene unwan mu aka.
Oh, e kwan we de. Ye da so wan say nanka ye be amaye na Nyankopon adom. Ye mampeni na ado dankwa akufu ado. To the able assistance and support of Honorable Eugene Ahi. Now omabuama ene ye da so no e ya bewu. Nti ene ye nim say ye kati so de ni wi a. Project no ye be wie no meantime. Efa no mfaso a project no ya de bebre no am say ye won krofu bebre o fi boju ase papa ase gate road ya o community nkran ye ejuma na o ministries na o services if you amount for workers for now share by 10 11 amount for medu ya now it tells you the kind of situation you timu because no instead of say over spending 25 minutes now they do kaswa no you to spend about 1 hour enti say obi ye ejuma ni no fi anom na o nkran ya could you imagine the time order be kwa do your friend saying ejuma enti no ebe improve productivity
sorry onti etimete wase a it takes one driving about 1 hour to drive from Bojiase to Accra.
Exactly, the state of the road as it is now, it's taking 1 hour to get to Kaswa, sometimes even more than 1 hour to get to Kaswa. 15-25 minutes journey. It can take you 1 solid hour.
Okay, so mean this road is actually supposed to take about 15 to 25 minutes from Bojiase to Accra.
Exactly. No, Bojiase to Kaswa.
Bojiase to Kaswa.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, the president has it. Sir, on the project here, Abba. Anuma, Ayarefo, Kolebu, Kaswa, Bojiase, especially Papasi here, no. Ni polyclinic wa nti so yare aida so be ko Bojiase anase obeko Kaswa enti se kwanu enye na se okọ na ebe spend no your friend say many hours and na we do baby a also do na say ya kwan we ya within 15 minutes no obedu na wakwa akonya na yaresa na aboa ono ankasa ne nebusia
okay na say yenye kwan ankasa kra no how be ese ba amanfo ayare also more access healthcare kra no a challenge.
Exactly, a challenge because also move efi anom Kaswa anase Bojiase na ye kwan na em say time o be spend now all the access healthcare no time no e be reduce.
So he has also heard me speaking to one gentleman who reside at Bojiase and who is just telling us that after completion of this road construction is going to reduce travel time hours from Bojiase to Kaswa. And a lot of people, according to him, say at Bojiase who actually work in a greater Accra region, they sometimes have to travel about 1.5 hours from Bojiase to Kaswa. This is not supposed to be so, but it's because of the bad nature of the road from Bojiase to at least joining the Kaswa road main to the greater Accra region. So I'll continue to also engage other officials who also be telling us more about how beneficial this road is going to be. So Koku, let me also take you back to the road. Like we said, it's a Kaswa to Bojiase road. And as a regional road is R15 and will turn perpendicular to the N1 highway at the Kaswa interchange. The project captures 14 kilometers of the Kaswa Bojiase road and 2 kilometers of adjoining accesses. Actually start from 10,000 to 24,000. So also be engaging other officials also be telling us more about how beneficial this road is going to be to them. So let me also engage. Let me also engage this gentleman here. Openi Boko here. Yeah, the Nyamias. What about years here? Okay, what now? How many years?
More than 10 years.
What 10 years? Eti yanshe kwan or how many they ebre moi motis one person butu kwan every.
I'm say. When we did that, I decided I hire Kumuapa. You big problem pie wa pie quine. Now, who fit the Bojiase at the Kaswa? In fact, a new cry at the papa. Where breasts are portos in an eye bread and ne Nanasu. Don't talk about the president. That's the young one we have.
CEO of Coastal Development Authority, Honorable Rizal Lai Komisa, CEO of Honorable Joseph Edu, CEO of Senya West District Assembly, Honorable MP for Senya West, the Paramount Chief of Ewutu Omaihene Abokwadi Achimai Yute III, the chiefs and elders of the Ewutu traditional area, ministers of the gospel, eminent Islamic clergy, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to make this presentation.
Now, also, and Fasodia, this road after its completion, especially those who want to travel from Bojiase to Greater Accra region, from Bojiase to some part of the eastern region. And he has been telling us that after completion is going to bring a sort of relief to them. It's going to also cut down their travel times a lot. Now, someone who will be traveling from Bojiase to any part of the eastern region will necessarily not have to travel all the way to the Greater Accra region before joining the main eastern region route. The person can just use a straight route after completion of this project. The contractor who has been handling this contract, that General Construction and Development Limited, a contractor just told me that he's actually on course, and after President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo cut short for the official construction of this road, it's going to take him less than 24 months to construct this road, because he has everything on site. And true to be told, when we came here to see every equipment that the contractor actually might be needed for this construction. Arterial roads have also been created to also help those who are also leading to their farming communities to be able to get easy access to the community. Construction is also of drainage. It's also on. Senior Ebeya, erosion will not take over the road, because one major issue of our road, which is being corrected under the able leadership of the Roads and Highways Minister, Honorable Kwasi Amoakwata, is to ensure that there will be at least drainage road construction in every part of this country to help protect the road from every flood. So if you also come to Bojiase to Kasua, 93 million 750 to construct this road. It's a 2-year contract that has been given to General Construction and Development Limited. So you can see drainage being constructed to ensure that there will be enough or erosional work to also protect the road of every flood dam, to ensure that the road was so long. Yes, so in no time, Chief of Bojiase will also be addressing the people. And as I'm speaking to you now, is the Deputy Minister of Roads and Highways, Honorable Stephen Jalula, who is actually addressing a mammoth gathering here. People from all walks of life in Bojiase who are here to witness the shortcutting of the Bojiase to Kasua Road, which is about 15 kilometers. So we can hear from behind the Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Honorable Stephen Jalula. And after that, time President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will also address the gathering before the president finally get to cut tape for the construction of this road. So virtually everything is set here right now for President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to actually cut short for the construction of this road. So let me also repeat again, some of the communities that are going to benefit from this road construction are going to be Papa C number 1 and 2, Mankomeda, Anoma Wobi, Jan Nkwanta, J. Krodia, Adawu Kwao, and Bojiasim, and other communities who are going to also enjoy from the peripherals that also be created by the contractor. And all these are happening in the Awutu Senya East municipality of the Central region. So these actually are going to be the communities who are going to benefit from this road construction. So in no time, I'll be taking you to the podium where the chief will also be engaging the president, also be telling president how happy they also are for this construction. After President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will also be taking the podium to also address the people. So as I've been telling you already, Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Honorable Stephen Jalula, is addressing this gathering here. Yeah, Oma man for Atiasie, Dientia Ama Abai Afadi Atono wants because it has been the concern of the chief and people of Bojiase over the years, and they've been calling on government upon government to help them construct this road, but it seems nothing much has been done to it. But
general site clearance and demolition. Naturally, say, ye belly structures and now and mere work when holding you. After ye clarification of existing revealing between us surface. Naturally, say, square room why ye so dada. But I say, at you. So this almost clarified. Baby, you know, now the materials, now the construction of concrete side rails. Say the baby, so many baby are flat. That's the Calvert. I have a bridge, you know,
the glass said you can so take the rope like an hour. Done. Now from here it links them to Swedro man, how do you call it? So
installation of road line markings the safety of the President of the Republic of Ghana, Madam Wasi.
Jaula. Regional Minister for the Central Region. The Minister for Fisheries, a Member of Parliament for Awutu Senya East, the Minister for Local Government, a Member of Parliament for Okre, Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, a Member of Parliament for Pru West, the Member of Parliament for Awutu Senya West, Municipal District Chief Executives, eminent clergy,
9 Apindako Tete Chidomhine of a Wutu Traditional Council Ninananum. Fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen, and Niche Pan above the sum which is in our Namidamase, and so Moa Jimmy Fefe Fese Awa two Caseta, the Massa Papa. Tisamunim no Afibia, they are to me who say. Me free the office of Jubilee House. Makwako na makwako hwe adwuma aban eye utu office na ko for the report be kirewa and say wa odi wani be kwa hwe da bia ade na bi na no etina maba me ba so na amambe kwanso etia amanfo nsema eda won kuma so ise nana nsema waka dia to he ekwane de nana ebeye me ba na se me ba be hyase wo kaswa bodrase coin am minister for roads and highways ayiyi mu akan semwe wo nyina e aban adwuma se beye ekwan wo Ghana na mo free anu so no ade ba ko amanya eboa mo pa wo awutu senya west any a branch here your friend Eugene Ahina anunu ya juma Director of Communications for Presidency. No, mama so enda bibia obete na wutu senya wutu senya na wutu senya sa na nyina aka ho na kwan so no aba be du bia edu no ye ba se ya so ba be bo form ya se adwuma na se na tse minister kai and sana me free konya no so no 2 years time no na kwanu so no e bie da ho amu nyina ubenya ho faso na minim se kwanu de bebre wo ho asisi eye ye be baako sa ni aye na ni nyina so atunya yeye jini baya masam kakra ho no iduma mo koso njina aban na chi mon koso enjina bana chi pinti na nsema abana nyina ye mboaboa no ne yenye na hoto ne koso ayere wo Ghana no enso aba bedam ase onyame hira mo nyina
yada ye president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo yada na si papa yasa da na si emei ya befe Reverend Enchi na odi empaibo a edi echire amaye.
Hallelujah. Obia yenyina yensi etiase yemompai. Father, once again we thank you. We began in your name, and indeed you have ended with us successfully. We thank you so much for bringing the president onto this community. We thank you for his doings, and we thank you for his life. We ask that, oh God, may you continue to strengthen him to do what you have called him to do in this community. We once again pray that, oh God, at the challenging time you are always with us. May you will be with him. May you never forsake him. Even as, oh God, he is traveling through the region. We ask for your divine protection and your divine strength. We once again pray that may lead all the protocols and officials and individuals, so that when we get back home, once again we give you all the glory and the praise. We thank you, Jesus, for what you have done. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Let's shout Amen. God bless you.
Yada oya Reverend Asi Papa. Yada Reverend Asi. Yo, that might be Nananum. Yeah, Papa.
Happy about what the president is doing for them. The president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will soon be taking round to see how the work of the construction of the Bojuase to Kasua Road, with the 50 kilometers, is going to be. In Ottawa, we are engaging the Member of Parliament for Awutu Senya East, Honorable Mavis Hawa Kumse, who will also be telling us, as a Member of Parliament, how happy she is to see this road construction in her constituency. And she will also be telling us how hard she has also fight to get this road construction. So when you come to Papasu here, you can see that the atmosphere actually is charged, and the resident people who live by other commuters who use this road are extremely happy to see President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for this road. To see the president commissioning President Curtis Sword for this road. So, like I said earlier on, I will soon be joined by Honorable Mavis Hawa Kumse, the Member of Parliament for Awutu Senya East. Before that, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as you can see in your shot, will be taking round to officially cast sword for the construction of this road. And the president, after cutting sword, will then move to other side on his assignment as he began his 2-day tour of the work done in the region, especially since and winning the 2020 general elections. As has been with the president, always that he will not always want to be in the office to receive report, but also want to get to the ground. Things for himself to know that yes, indeed, the work that is being told is done is actually done. And that is store in the Upper West and Savannah regions. Today being Friday, the 2nd day of September 2022, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is in the Central region for today and Saturday, which is the 3rd of September 2022. And this affords the president opportunity to see how work in the region. So be that the president will also be taking tour of some One Nation One Factory to also assess progress of work in this district. So
all right, so you're watching live pictures from Bojuase, Kasua Bojuase, where President Akufo-Addo is being taken around the construction billboard, if you like, where he's being given a brief on exactly what the road construction will look like by engineers and contractors who will be working on the Kasoa-Bojuase Road. Remember, you're watching a live coverage, a special coverage of the President's regional tours produced by the Ministry of Information, live from Accra. But we are on the ground with the President in the Central Region, who this morning began a 2-day working tour. Currently he is at Bojuase, where he will be cutting sword for the construction of the Kasoa-Bojuase Road. The President earlier delivered a speech at Bojuase, where the chiefs and people there were gathered. The President indicated how important his government considered the area in the area of developments, and so it is the reason why the Bojuase-Kasoa Road is going to be constructed as soon as possible to ease traffic and also help commuters in the area and communities nearby to be able to ply that particular road. So you're watching on the screens. If you're just joining us, you're also watching us live on GTV, City TV, Metro TV, Adum TV, Netu TV, Wuntumi TV, Movement TV, Wezo TV, Asasi Radio. Of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, this is the Ministry of Information Facebook page, and we're live in Bojuase-Kasoa, where President Akufo-Addo is soon going to cut sword for the Kasoa-Bojuase Road in the Central Region. Remember, this forms part of his 2-day working tour of the region, and we are bringing you live updates on engagements as well as activities that the President and his delegation, his entourage, will be involved in. Later on today, the President will be commissioning 2 big 1D, 1F projects. He will be commissioning these projects. One is the gas cylinder factory at Chuchui, also in the Central Region. Then he will also be commissioning the lubricant factory, which is another 1D, 1F project in Gomafete Junction, before he will continue to other parts of the Central Region. So as you see on your screens, the President has just finished getting that brief on work that will be done on the Kasoa-Bojuase Road. The President will proceed now to cut sword for the construction of that road. We heard from opinion leaders, we heard from residents in the area who are very excited about this development. The President is now moving to cut sword for the construction. As you can see, he has the shovel now signifying the sword cutting of that road, the Kasoa-Bojuase Road. We also see the chief in the area who is also taking part in the ceremonial exercise to cut sword for the construction of that particular road. So you're watching this live from the Ministry of Information, live, of course, on a number of TV stations, radio station, and of course streaming live on Facebook. On your scenes, you're watching dignitaries, town folks, chiefs, personalities who have gathered at this ceremony, where President Akufo-Addo has just cut sword for the construction of the Kasoa-Bojuase Road. As I did mention earlier, the President will be also commissioning some 1D, 1F factories. But right now, let's cross over to our man, Akwesinsia, who is going to be speaking to the Deputy Minister of Roads about the ceremony that you've just witnessed on your screens. Akwesi, if you can hear me right now, take over now, Akwesi.
Gogo, I have here with me a Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Honorable Stephen Jalula, who stood in for the Sector Minister, Honorable Kwesi Amwako, to read a statement on his behalf. Honorable, thank you and welcome to the special coverage of the President Tour, courtesy of the Ministry of Information, live on about 8 TV stations across the country. Thank you, welcome.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me again.
Okay. So now tell us, how important is this 16-kilometer road for the people of Bojuase to Kasoa?
Yeah, this road is a 14-kilometer road that links Kasoa to Bojuase, and this is a very poor road, as you know. We traveled on it.
Now, we have a lot of communities along the road, and they've been suffering for a very long time now. So we found money, about 94 million Ghana cedis, that we are going to apply to the construction of this road. And when it is done, it is going to benefit so many communities along the road, including commercial farmers. We have the understanding that there are commercial farmers who farm pineapple, oranges, cassava, and what have you. So this road is very important, and that is why out of so many roads, we decided to tackle it. And that is why we are here today.
Can this also be counted as part of the year of roads?
Of course, we've been saying it every day. Now this is an example. We don't have the resources to do all the roads at once, but we have to find resources to do some roads. And one by one, we are clearing the hurdles, and I'm sure that to get closer to your viewers and listeners. Yes, so each one of us should be patient. As like I've always said, no amount of demonstrations can construct a road. These people haven't demonstrated, but they lobbied, and we found it necessary to come and do their roads for them. And luckily, they are going to get it done in 24 months. The contractor that we have on this road is one of our best contractors. General Construction and Development Limited is one of our local contractors, very, very good contractor. That is why we chose him, and we pray that this road will be delivered in time, and that will be on the 5th of September 2024.
Okay. So, Honor, before I take leave of you, can you also share with us how serious is President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the ministry has given to you to man taking the reconstruction of this country?
Yes, you know, roads are catalysts to development, economic development of the nation. If the roads are not good, nothing can happen. Nothing really can happen without good roads. Health delivery, education, commercial activities, and that is why Nana Akufo-Addo has been touted as one man, one president who has tackled roads seriously in the country. And that is why we always say every day that the roads that we have constructed in the country between 2017 till date, nobody has ever done that.
Thank you very much. So Kwaku has been speaking to a Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Honorable Stephen Jalola. So Kwaku, if you can hear me, take over as President Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo take his tour of the Central Region to another development site.
A man who has just brought us live updates from the sword cutting of the Kaswa-Bojuasi Road, where President Akufo-Addo has just performed that exercise to begin the construction of the roads for the area. And as you saw on your screens, a lot of excitement in that area. The President will continue his tour of the Central Region. Soon he will be commissioning two.
So that's the presidential team coming through with the project in the Central Region. We'll be monitoring the road construction, the Kaswa-Bojuasi Road to be precise, and we'll bring you updates of that going forward. Now let's do some other stories. And residents of Kaswa in the Central Region have expressed varied opinions about the performance of President Akufo-Addo. While some residents believe the president has performed creditably well, others are expecting more to be done by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Here are some residents speaking to Metro News.
We are hungry. Nothing seems to be working for us. They need to create jobs for us. Now, most of us want to travel abroad. We had high hopes in this government. A lot of people didn't turn up today because they are all facing challenges.
It means that
we are struggling. The free education is good, but I suggest the president makes some changes to the initiative by making parents pay a boarding fee so the money can be reinvested into fuel to cut down fuel prices. I believe this can improve the state of the economy.
There are so many unfinished jobs that he came to meet of which we need to complete. Looking at where the assembly is lying now, it wasn't completed. He came in his first time, he completed it. The district, the hospital, he did the same thing. There are some major, even with the overpass, it was not completed. The president made sure it is completed and fully open to traffic. So it tells you continuity is going on. He has introduced a little of them from the other road sectors that we are doing. He has introduced. So I think we are on it. We are going. So it's doing well as far as Kaswa is concerned.
The president has done well and therefore deserves commendation. My child has been able to attend SHS due to the free SHS policy. NPP will break the 8.
Well, meanwhile, the NPP Constituency Communications Director for Kaswa, Kofi Intiamwa, says the president has performed better in the Ewutu Senya East constituency in terms of infrastructure.
There are 3 or 4 more projects that we want the president to commission. We have a 12-unit classroom block that has been built for Methodist Basic School at the Kaswa Zongo electoral area. We have one constituency, one warehouse. We benefited for one other new market area there that is also fully completed, as well as we are looking at the president also getting some for the asphalt overlay. These are visible projects that you can see, touch, that has been built and then ready to be used within the constituency for the constituents. At the end of the year, we're going to have from Kaswa to Bojuase well paved and then started and being used. Don't forget that from Bojuase through to Adeso and some is already done. So what we are left now is from Ogrunguanta to Bojuase or Brachere. Then our route from here to Swedro, from here to Nsawam will be fully tied for our drivers and then the passengers will be applying.
Now, Ghana's telecommunications system faces a shutdown as telecom workers are set to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike from Monday, September 5, 2022. The measure is to set a press home demands for a number of conditions of service. Executives of the Telecom and IT Professions Union, TIP, are in crunch meeting today with the Labour Commission and other stakeholders to have their concerns addressed. To know what these concerns are and more about the union, let's turn to the video wall and give you a breakdown of something. Okay, well, we'll take the story and then we'll be back.
Have a situation where MTN, Airtel, Tigo, and Vodafone, after formally severing their relationship with the key engineers, most of whom are our members, they gave Huawei Technology SA Limited took over then. And so because of that, it has created a monopoly. And so we had a difficulty in trying to get an improved working condition. So we petitioned the various bodies that, look, why would such a sensitive operation be handed over to one company? A company that we all know has zero tolerance for organized labor. And so we are asking the state institutions, including NCA, to intervene in this matter. We were ignored until this year, February, we sent another reminder asking them to intervene and also including trying to identify who our principal employer is in the chain of the employment relationship we find ourselves. Mind you, we, after severing the relationship formally with us by the telcos, we are still working at their premises on their equipment, doing the same thing. Nothing changed. Only what changed is the employer, which was Huawei then. Then subsequently, Huawei also transferred us to other 4 companies who they call their subcontractors. We are talking about Linfra Ghana Limited, MPI, Remy, and Reliance, that they should be managing us. And at the end of the day, when we sit in the office, you don't interact with the MPI managers. You interact with Huawei managers and MTN managers. And when you have concerns regarding your tools, we're talking about laptops, phone, airtime, and data, and sometimes vehicles, you have to now go looking for the employer who is Linfra sitting elsewhere. And so issues of working tools and even work overload, you find it difficult to have a conversation around it because you don't know who is supposed to address that. Meanwhile, you take your salary from the so-called subcontractors of Huawei, yet they are not the one who are your managers, who appraises your performance, who even determine your stay or out exit of the company, because it is the Huawei managers who decide and say this is the guy we want to work with or this is the guy we don't want to work with. We wrote, the employer refused to write the joint letter. We wrote to NLC around 10th of August reporting this matter to NLC, that the employer is refusing to cooperate with us. The employer has refused to do that, and on top of it has targeted our national executives and other union members who are actually part of the current negotiation committees that we have formed for non-contract renewal. So we are asking the NLC to intervene. Clearly, you realize that there's no help. And so this is a clear attempt where you have the employer victimizing and intimidating the employee, and by trying to break the union front. It is our right. So clearly, there's no option left for us than to embark on strike and withdraw our services.
Now let's turn to the video wall and give you some details of what this, telecom workers are talking about. So this is the mandate. It says that they manage the key technical operations for 3 major telecom operators. These operators include MTN, Vodafone, and Airtel Tigo. It goes on to say composition of the Telecom and IT Professionals Union, telecom engineers, technicians, information technology, IT professionals, and other allied workers. These personnel are mostly outsourced for their respective roles, and that's the nature of the composition. Now, the key demands: immediate recall of all targeted members of TIP whose contracts have not been renewed by the employers by mere association with the union. Next demand: immediate recall of all targeted union leaders who are part of the current joint standing negotiation committee and subcommittee negotiating in the 2022 CA and salary increments. Immediate payment of golden handshake to all TIP members whose contracts have ended with Reliance and have not been renewed. Cooperation from the employers to jointly sign and submit a letter to NLC referring to the pending items in 2022 CA negotiation and 2022 salary increment negotiation. Date we have is up to September 5, 2022. You're also watching Newsbeat on Metro TV. We'll take some more stories, but let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll also come back with the business news as well.
Welcome back to Business Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. And out of Falls Business Story, fuel prices have experienced an increase of about 70 pesos in the first price window of September. According to the head of research at the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Benjamin Insiam, the supply premium of some bulk oil distributors can be attributed to the price differentials at the ex-pump.
An additional 7 pesos per liter added onto the UPPF margin. That has led us into this. So anytime the cedi depreciates, it becomes an add-on cost onto the petroleum price. And that is why we see prices increasing recently. For example, if you look at petrol prices on the international market, petrol prices declined on the international market by 5.7%. So a petrol consumer locally will be expecting that petrol prices should also decrease. However, because the cedi depreciation had a much multiplier effect on the ex-pump price locally. That is why price of petrol has also increased to 11 Ghana cedis, 55 pesos per liter. As COPEC, one observation we've made is that the supply premium of the BDCs, that's normally we call it the BDC's margin, vary between petrol and then diesel. For example, the BDCs are quoting $230 per metric for diesel and quoting $100 per metric for petrol. If you convert these figures into cedis and using the FOI rate of 11 Ghana cedis to $1, it means that the BDCs are charging about 2 Ghana cedis 14 pesos as a supplies premium or as their margin on diesel, and charging 83 pesos as a margin on petrol. And that is why we've seen quite higher variance between the prices of petrol and then diesel or at the ex pump.
Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Public Procurement Authority, Frank Mante, has urged heads of institutions to always adhere to laws governing procurement in order to avoid losses to the state.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Public Procurement Authority gave the advice at the closing ceremony for some 40 representatives from the Regional Coordinating Council and Assembly members from the southern sector of the country on the Ghana Electronic Procurement System.
People have been sacked in this country from their position because of procurement infractions. So don't think that it cannot happen. If you are sacked, that one is a different matter. Are you with me? At least you can go home and continue your life. Okay, but if there is going to be a fine or what, an imprisonment, then you'll be going to court every day. And the thought of that alone is not a good thing. So please, let's ensure this thing works. And for me, this issue of interferences, GHANEPS is there to help us what? Largely reduce it. Whether we like it or not, people, as far as procurement is concerned, people have an interest.
According to the CEO, the Ghana Electronic Procurement System is aimed at transforming Ghana's procurement system from manual to electronic one, adding that the system is an internationally recognized one with enormous benefit.
You know, electronic system, all the tenders are submitted electronically by the tenderers. You know, if it's for consultancy purposes, the proposal will be submitted what? Electronically. Which means that there's no opportunity for anybody to go into the system to manipulate it. Okay, so there we can see that there will be some form of fairness, some form of transparency is what is done. The evaluation is also conducted online. So situations where individuals for their various interests might want to, you know, do things that are untoward, to change scores, you know, to favor a particular service provider or tenderer who probably was not meant to be the one to win the contract. You know, that particular process is what? Reduced.
The Municipal Chief Executive Officer for New Joburg South, Koforidua, in the Eastern Region, Isaac Apau JC, who was part of the participants, commended the Public Procurement Authority for the initiative.
What I've just seen, very efficient system. It will also cut costs because each time, I mean, there was a meeting, the assembly has to pay. And so now that you can even be in the comfort of your house and still participate in the process, I think it will save the assemblies a lot of money.
Beyond the training, the authority is expected to continually deploy personnel to the institutions to ensure users are coping well with the new system and its challenges addressed.
That'll be all for business here on Newsbeat. My name is Winston Taki. Sports is next with Phil Joncote.
The local Blaster team are in the Nigerian capital Abuja for the second leg tie of the CHAN qualifiers against the Nigerians, which will take place on Sunday. In the first tie at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium, the Ghanaians beat them by 2-0. Let's get the reaction of Yapreko, ex-Ghanaian international and head coach of Accra Great Olympics.
Make sure they don't concede. That's all. They have to be very, very strong. Nigerians are not better than us. They are not better than us. In terms of football, they are not better, so I don't see the reason why we have to be afraid. I was there for a season. I coached in Nigeria for a season. They are not better than us. That was the time we beat them in the Waffle in Cape Coast. We have what it takes. It's about confidence. The boys need to be confident. They managed to get 2 goals, which is good. We go in there, it's not about going and defend. No, it's about going there and make sure that you don't concede. And what do? We play as a team, and they have a very good trainer. You know, so they have a good technical team. So I'm not scared. I know. And especially the game is going to be in Abuja. You know, if it's in Oyo or Lagos, then I'll say, you know, but Abuja fans, you saw when Blaster went there. Yeah. Repeat, part 2.
Head coach of Accra Great Olympics believing that the Black Galaxies can go through in Abuja against their Nigerian counterparts. Let's focus on English football now, because yesterday was the deadline. It ended at 23 GMT. And London side, I'm talking about Chelsea, they managed to grab and pull in Gabonese international Pierre Aubameyang from Barcelona. The Boganese is ready to help the project at Chelsea.
All right, feeling very good and very proud. I mean, fits me well, so really happy, to be honest. I think this is the best league of the world, so just happy to be here. This one's my favorite. That's perfect.
So there you have the Gabonese international Pierre Aubameyang is now a Chelsea player. I'm sure that should be a fun news for Desi, who's ready for showbiz.
There's some good news like myself. Up next, we do entertainment news. I'm Desmond Okrekudan. So now one of Ghana's leading entertainment companies, Links Entertainment, as part of its 15th anniversary celebration in the Ghanaian music industry, has held a seminar to discuss traditional and social media. And I was there, and this is the report.
The forum saw a number of industry stakeholders present and discussed the impact of traditional media and social media in Ghana's entertainment industry. Speakers at the forum were renowned broadcaster Kafu Ide, bloggers Kobiche and Eugene Osafo Kansa of Nkonkonsa GH, and senior partner manager at Twitter Bernard Sokpe. Some of the speakers spoke to Metro News after the forum.
I mean, the BBC has been around for maybe 60, 70, maybe 80 years. They're still there. But they're also using social media to reach the audiences that may not listen to traditional media. And without social media, people wouldn't know what we're doing. So it's a marriage. And we're not going to die out.
So I feel that, first of all, we must all act like a soup. We're all together. Let's not limit each other. The world is growing more digital. What can we do collectively to push that agenda when it comes to the content that is coming from Africa and particularly in Ghana? You understand? So one of the things that I'm also praying for is the fact that when you go to the traditional media, they have sort of some ethics to follow in making sure that every information that they put out there is accurate and credible. When it comes to the social media or the online platform, people are still doubting stories that come from that angle. Collectively, I feel that we should have
And those coming in this morning is that Nigerian rapper Ice Prince Zamani has been arrested by the Nigerian police for assaulting a police officer. I'll bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. That's all for entertainment, and you stand by with the rest of the bulletin.
Thank you, Desmond. Let's now go down the lane on the stories of the international front.
A migrant center on the Italian island of Lampedusa has become overcrowded as the number of migrants arriving from North Africa increases. The center was built for nearly 350 people, but is now home to close to 1,400 migrants. Most of these migrants are said to be from Tunisia and Libya. More than 700 migrants arrived on the island on Monday. President Joe Biden has described supporters of Donald Trump's Make America Great Again agenda as a threat to democracy. Speaking on a primetime speech in Pennsylvania, Joe Biden says Make America Great Again forces are determined to take the country backwards. A military-run court in Myanmar has sentenced Aung San Suu Kyi to 3 years in prison on election fraud charges. This brings the country's former leader, Ms. Suu Kyi's sentence to 20 years in prison on 11 counts, with several charges remaining. Though she denies all the accusations leveled against her, if convicted on all charges, she could face almost 200 years in prison.